Hey everybody, it's Cheyenne. So I had a hard time figuring out what I was going to do for this video because I wanted to do a cover, but I'm still not completely better and my throat's feeling scratchy and I don't want to risk completely botching a song by coughing the entire time. So sitting around listening to music and a poem that I have on my iPod, and I think it's the only poem that I have on my iPod, came up, and it was the To This Day project by Shane Koyczan. I thought about reading it on here, but I don't think that, I don't know, I decided not to. If you want to listen to it, I definitely would suggest listening to it. It's a great poem. It's on YouTube, and, you know, once again, it's by Shane Koyczan, spelled with a K. His weird name is spelled, his last name is spelled weird. There we go. But if you look up the To This Day project, it should come up. Anyways, so essentially the poem talks about bullying, and it talks about the author's experience with bullying and a couple of his friends' experiences with bullying. And it goes on talking about how we made it through this stuff and how, you know, we weren't these things that we were called. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I burped. Okay. So, you know, it kind of goes on to talk about bullying and how we made it through all this bullying and all this stuff, but it wasn't easy. You know, and it'll never be easy. And, I mean, there were some points that I really liked in there. There's this one made near the beginning of the poem, and it talks about how people used to say that rhyme about, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And people still sometimes say that rhyme. But, it talks about how, you know, words hurt a lot more than you would think that they do. And that, you know, with the way they were treated growing up, to believe that no one will ever love you for who you are, no one will ever fall in love with you, and you'll never, you know, meet someone who really wants to be around you, and that you'll be alone forever. And these are some, like, main points made in the poem. You know, all these things hurt more than you would think, and that, you know, he even says in the poem, and I'm stuttering like there's no tomorrow right now. I don't know why. But, he makes the point in the poem, you know, don't tell me that hurts less than a broken bone. And that's directly quoting the poem. And that's true. I mean, anyone who's been bullied could probably tell you the same thing, or at least anyone who hasn't handled it well. You know, I think I had a better time when I broke my nose than when I was being bullied. And, you know, I think that's always a terrible thought to have, is just this thought that you would rather be in physical pain than to go through what some of us kids were put through. I mean, I remember that there were days all in elementary school when I would pretend to be sick because I didn't want to be there. Because people could be harsh. I mean, I had all these people who, they were supposed to be my friends, but they didn't really care about me, you know? When it came to it, they just needed someone to be there for them and then tossed me aside. But, you know, another point that this poem makes near the end is that all these things in the end, even though they did hurt us in some way, they also helped us. And that all these things are not always about the pain that they caused, but they're also about beauty and such. And, you know, in the end we're only stronger because we finally see life, that in life you can't be perfect. You can't be what everyone wants, and that there's always going to be someone who tries to put you down. And if you're getting bullied, you know, you should talk about it. Talk to someone about it. Know that you aren't alone. Another big point made in the poem is that we've learned to cheer on the underdogs because at some point in our lives we were the underdog, you know, we see ourselves. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is just know that you aren't alone in this. And that you have people around you who care and who will be happy to help. And I've said this with a lot of things. I've said this with depression, and I've said this with like relationships and such, but it's a true statement. It's very true. You have people around you who care, who love you, and I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense with depression too, because sometimes bullying can cause depression. Actually, quite a bit of the time bullying can cause depression, and it's a sad thought that someone would be okay with making someone else want to kill themselves, but it happens. And I don't understand it, but there's a reason people do it, and maybe one day someone will. But I mean, like I've always said, why would you want to be perfect anyways? Like, who cares what these people are saying? Why would you want to be perfect? Perfect is boring. Like a total snooze fest to be perfect. Especially what society thinks is perfect. It's like this somehow skinny but not skinny person who is really good but also is bad at the same time. Not too good, and goodness gracious. I mean, just like the thought of what society thinks of as perfect is just so boring to me, and it's no fun, and you know, you could just have so much more fun by just being yourself. And I mean, I don't really understand how you would be anyone else anyways, so. But I mean, I guess it's possible if you get a face change and hair color change and eye color change, which I don't know. Like, I really think that I really think that the thought that we can change our eye color these days, you know, not using contacts, but actually there's a surgical procedure to change your eye color is pretty cool, but I don't think I'll ever do it because it involves a needle in your eye, and you're awake for it because you have to have your eye open. And so you're awake for this process, and what they do is they take a needle and they insert it into your, oh no, just no. I mean, if that's not a reason to stop you from wanting to be someone else, I don't know what will. Because that's just the thought of a needle going towards my eye. Just, no. No. It's my eye. Why would I want to stick a needle in there? Unless I absolutely need to. But, I mean, that's pretty cool. And I guess if I really wanted to, I would. But I'm not that desperate to change my eye color. They change enough on their own. Sorry, I'm really tired, but, you know, just, I know bullying is hard, and I know especially when you're going through it, it's a very, very difficult thing, and you feel like you can't talk to anyone about it because you don't know how they'll react. But know that you can talk to someone about it. You absolutely can. And in the long run, it'll be better. But never think that you're alone in that. Never think that you're alone. Because you're not. And know that it hurts right now, and when you think back on it, it might always still hurt you a little bit. But in the long run, it'll make you stronger. And you'll be a better person for it. And that sounds like a really sucky way to be stronger and be a better person, but I mean, I guess there's some kind of lesson to be learned there, and sometimes you just have to learn it. And it sucks, but you don't have to learn it alone. This is the main point I'm making here. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to. Even if I don't like talking much, I'm here for advice. I do advice stuff. I'm happy to give advice, even if I don't talk all the time. I'm not really a talkative person. That's why I stutter and say a lot, because I don't normally talk this much. I think a lot faster than I talk. But I just lost my train of thought. This is why you don't sit up until 12:32 in the morning to talk about deep things, right? I mean, really, I really think the main point I'm trying to make here is just know that you aren't alone. And that you will have people around you that you can talk to. Anyways, I really hope this helped you guys in some way. If not, I'm really sorry. That just means I shouldn't be talking about things at 12:32 in the morning when I'm half asleep and sick. If it did, hey, let me know. I'd be definitely happy to hear from you guys. And if you have your own input to put on it, definitely comment, because I love to read what people have to say below. And like on the depression video that I did, there were people commenting on that one, you know, adding their input on that. And I was really happy to read those comments, you know. I was really excited too. I was just like, oh my gosh, people commented and stuff, and no, blah, 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 blah. So, definitely, you're welcome to comment down below, and, you know, I'll be happy to read them. I tend to read all of the comments that are there. So, yeah. Alrighty. Oh! I almost forgot. I am officially back into my classes for college, which I am so excited about. Because, you see, for the people who just got here, I think it was like a month ago now. I think it was about a month ago now, which is a long time. That's kind of depressing. Not depressing, but upsetting, disappointing. Anyways, dismal. Oh, that's kind of close to depressing. Anyways, I'm getting off track. So, about a month ago, a couple weeks ago, something like that, I was dropped from my classes because no one told me that I had to go online and accept my scholarship and accept my grant. So my school wasn't getting the money that they needed, so they dropped me from my classes after sending me one email to the account that I was still trying to get used to checking. So I had to do all this like paperwork. It was like stacks of paperwork. Now don't get me wrong, it wasn't like stacks of paperwork, but it was like stacks of paperwork, and that's still pretty tiring sometimes to a college student who, by the way, I still had to go to my classes so I could keep up with them and do the assignments and such. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that I actually got the time off. No, I still had to go to the classes so I could stay in time with my classes and the homework and such. Sucks. It sucked. But so I was doing that, and I was doing my classwork, and so I went in today because I never got a call, or at least I never saw that I got a call from the school telling me, oh yeah, by the way, you're back in your classes. And so the financial aid lady, who's a really nice lady, was like, did you check your self-service? You know, did you check your Blackboard, which is the stuff that we use for classes and grading and such? And I was like, you know what? I thought to check my student email. I didn't think to check that. And she's like, what are we gonna do with you? Because she's really nice. She's really sweet. And but so I went in and I checked it, and I saw that I was back in my class, and I was just like, internally, I was just like, yeah, woo, yeah. Of course, I didn't do that outwardly because there were people sitting there and they'd think I was insane, which of course, people who know me know that it's true. I am pretty much insane, but not everyone needs to know it all the time. God. But yeah, so I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy to be back in my classes. Now all I have to do is go in and set up a time that I can get my spring classes, and then I'm good. Oh, and I might be trying out for The Voice in January because it looks like there are some venues that I could do pretty soon. So if I do, of course, I will let you guys know, and that'll be great. Alrighty. Wish me luck. I have a quiz later on this week, so that'll be fun, and I hope that you guys have great days and great weeks. And definitely don't forget to dance. I love you guys so much. Stay you. Believe in yourselves because, dudes and dudettes, you are awesome. And I love you guys. And, yeah. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.